It's about time. As every musician, scientist, and mechanic knows, rhythm is measured in quantity per unit of time. Your heart rate is counted in number of beats per minute. The speed at which you drive your car is measured in miles per hour, and though no official calculation exists for how well you metabolize and burn calories at different times of the day, I can assure you of this: metabolism too is all about time. When you eat is as important as what you eat. In a typical study, researchers put a group of people on a 2,000 calorie diet. In the first part of the study, the test subject could only eat their 2,000 calories at breakfast. They ate nothing else for the rest of the day. With this one meal in the morning, everyone either lost weight or maintained their existing weight. In the second phase of the study, the same exact people ate the exact same 2,000 calorie diet, except this time they could only eat it at dinner. With this one meal for the entire day, eaten in the evening, every single person in the study gained weight. Can you see why counting calories to lose weight can be a waste of energy? Time means everything. Sumo wrestlers have known for centuries that large meals eaten in the late evening hours will give them the physical advantage they covet most. Flap. Simply put, we calorie burn less efficiently in the evening hours. An important aspect of metabolism that popular science tends to overlook is the fact that exercising your digestive function, especially at the right time, makes metabolism stronger. Nutritional value is given not just in the vitamins and nutrients in our food, but is generated by the process that the body goes through to pulverize, digest, assimilate, and eliminate a meal. Eating is like an exercise, and food is the weight your body must lift to build its metabolic strength. When we consistently fail to give the gastrointestinal tract its proper workout, it loses its tone and we grow metabolically weak. If you wanted to optimize the benefits of exercise, you wouldn't do your workout at the same time of day when you were most tired. Likewise, if you want to get the ultimate metabolic benefit of eating, don't eat your most substantial nutrient-dense meal when your digestion is on a downturn the evening hours. Unless you're seriously considering an unusual career change, I suggest you relinquish the sumo diet immediately. Eating little food during the day and much in the evening will never take you to where you want to go when it comes to optimizing energy and burning calories. So the first meal sets the rhythm. Let's say that you wake up in the morning and you decide not to eat breakfast. You figure, well, I'm not hungry. I'll just have some coffee, maybe a little bit of cereal or a muffin or a bagel. And if I eat this meager amount of food until lunch, I'll be a good girl and lose weight. Bad girl. Body temperature is naturally rising in the morning to prepare you for a metabolic resurgence. In the absence of food or in the absence of enough food, the body gets concerned. It says something like, hey, I thought I was preparing to raise metabolism with a morning meal. I thought my food source was abundant and dependable. There's nothing here. I must be shipwrecked on a desert island. Or maybe there's a famine. Better slow down metabolism, store fat, and don't build any muscle because there are lean times ahead. This genetically programmed survival response is a brilliant mechanism for supporting the continuation of life in times of emergency. When the brain senses trouble with the food supply, it does the most simple and impactful metabolic reprogramming to conserve energy, store fat, and forget about building muscle. Just the opposite of what you're trying to do by denying yourself food. To make matters worse for weight loss, people have a breakfast that consists of one ingredient: coffee. Coffee by itself raises cortisol levels. The coffee lobby doesn't want you to know this. I used to work for them because this basically means the coffee can chemically mimic the stress response and cause abdominal weight gain. This doesn't mean that coffee's bad. It just means that when you combine lack of food, survival response, elevated cortisol, anxiety, stress response, elevated cortisol, and caffeine mimics stress response, elevated cortisol, you have three factors that powerfully synergize to send cortisol production through the roof, suppressing digestive metabolism and depositing weight. Again and again, we see the importance of cortisol levels in health and weight. Cortisol isn't a bad chemical. It's an integral component of an alive human body. Without it, we couldn't exist. In the right quantities, it helps maintain the proper function of every major system in the body. When we overproduce cortisol, though, we age prematurely, wear down our weakest links, and gain weight around the middle. Strangely enough, the chemicals that wreak the most havoc in our lives and prove to be the most toxic ones are the ones we self-produce. That's why the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world are busy behind the scenes perfecting home test kits so you can measure your own cortisol levels. Of course, if you find that your cortisol level is too high, you can buy whatever drug they concoct to lower it, but you needn't wait for the next magic bullet to improve metabolism and lower your weight. No drug has ever worked for this purpose, and none of them ever will. Just follow the inborn rhythms of the body and you'll liberate yourself while putting the diet pill pushers out of business forever. Now let's imagine it's lunchtime. You've had your small or non-existent breakfast and perhaps a second cup of coffee in the mid-morning. You have some energy and you don't feel the need or the desire for a big lunch. Maybe you think you're being good by holding back on the calories. Perhaps you don't have much time for lunch anyway. So why not grab half a sandwich or a salad with no oil dressing or have a late lunch at 2 or 3 o'clock? If this is your strategy, what seems to be sensible is actually working against you. First, the body is designed to optimally digest and calorie burn when the sun is at its apex in the sky. By not putting fuel in the furnace at this time or simply by not eating, you miss your peak metabolic window of opportunity, which is approximately 12 to 1:30 in the afternoon. Missing this opportunity is the equivalent of being all dressed up with no place to go. Chances are you'll be ravenous by 3 or 4 o'clock, maybe headachy or irritable, and grab an unhealthy snack. In other words, you'll be suffering from arrhythmia, being out of sync with your natural circadian flow. And by eating a tiny breakfast and a minimal or late lunch, you assure major hunger in the evening. Many people will follow this arrhythmic sequence of events, find that they have a substantial snack before dinner because they're so hungry they can't wait for the actual meal, or they're simply ravenous in the evening, eat a huge dinner, sumo style.